Da, da, theme song, theme song. Da, da, da. I'm Tanya,
I'm Nikki.
and we are 1000 Eyes and One, the
The podcast.
podcast. Today, we are back with The Wheel of Time, Season 2, Episode 7, Daes, Dae'mar.
Whatever that means.
To find previous episodes, go to thousandeyespodcast.com. You can also find us on YouTube, 1000 Eyes and One podcast. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter as 1000 Eyes1, Facebook and Instagram, 1000 Eyes and One. If you're interested in our speculative fiction book club, that is Wine on an Empty Stomach on Instagram. Before we get into this episode, I have to clarify something from last episode.
Ooh, a retraction.
Yes. Well, not really a retraction, a correction.
A correction.
We were talking about Logain and how in season 1, when we first meet him, the weaves were talking to him and they came in the shape of a human. And I had said that the subtitle named it Lanfear. I was wrong. The subtitle named it as Alusha.
Who the fuck is Lucia?
So I'm assuming Alusha is a Forsaken that we'll meet later, maybe?
I hope so. Season 3.
Because they had to have
Wink,
named
wink.
it for a reason, right?
Mm.
And there was never any context giving. And I don't, not that I remember, and I don't know all of the Forsaken names.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So perhaps Alusha is the Forsaken who was talking to Logain when he was channeling,
Yeah.
because they named it. So, and actually there were two. So maybe one of them was Lanfair, who knows? But there were two. At least one of them was named Alusha. So
Word.
that is my correction from last week.
Mess cleaned up. I would say real quick, shout out to everybody who joined when we did the live premiere for the last episode, because that was really fun.
Yay.
Shout out to you. I don't remember all of your names, but you know who you are.
And thank you. You guys are
Yes.
the best. Young Moraine and Suan in love.
That's what my notes say. We in love.
They were so cute and hopeful together.
Yeah, it was adorable. It's just that like the post-war love where, there's hope in your eyes and you can see a new future. There was going to be a baby boom. Well, not with them, but I'm sure everyone was like back. And yeah, it was a happy time.
It was a happier time until we meet Katara, who must have been like 800 years old.
Shout out to Katara. I looked at the thing and that's Haley Mills.
I don't know who that is.
Haley Mills was in the original Shiza. What the fuck? Remember the movie that Lindsay Lohan did where they were twins?
Oh,
The Parent
yeah.
Trap. The Parent Trap. She was in the original Parent Trap. She was an actress from the golden days of TV and film. And I was looking at her, I was like, this woman looks familiar. But I don't remember seeing her in many things as an adult, although I know that she did act a lot. But yeah, shout out to Haley Mills.
Okay. That's what's up. Katara has a vision. She experiences the dragon being reborn. I didn't know that she was going to experience it. They mentioned that she had the vision, but for her to first of all, to have to feel childbirth and it's not even your own is some bullshit.
Yeah, from a long distance childbirth. It's like not even sympathy pains, but the actual thing.
While also feeling the stab wound.
Yeah, no thanks. Bye.
I would have
imagine if I felt your childbirth.
Yeah, that would have been awful. And I would have died on the spot too.
Yeah.
So Katara has her vision. The dragon has been reborn, and she tells them not to tell anyone. And I wondered why. And I guess we'll find out, but why would she not want them to tell anyone?
I don't know. Do they have beef with the Aiel people?
I don't know. I mean, she didn't mention it was Aiel.
Yeah.
She said, he was born in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a longer prophecy about him being born in the snow at like the foot of a mountain or something like that. There's definitely a longer prophecy than what we saw.
Hair of fire.
or some or born to, oh man, what was it? It was like born to someone like not of
Mm.
whatever.
Didn't they
So
touch on
like
that in the first season a bit?
I think so.
Yeah. Hmm.
I hope I'm not confusing book. I might be.
I have a question. So, this I know that there's a prophecy, or now you see that there's how the prophecy was delivered, and I'm wondering, like, are there others? I guess I would just call her a seer. Are there other seers, and are they all channelers, or who else is having prophecies? Is this something that's common in their
I
land?
think I don't know how many there are, but I think there are other ones because
Are they all women?
I do believe there had been a dragon prophecy far before this, and that
Mm-hmm.
her vision was it actually happening now.
Right.
So they knew the dragon would be reborn. So that was a prophecy that already existed. I don't know like the frequency of seers.
Or if they're all women, because I bet they wouldn't believe a man if he had a prophecy about the dragon being
They would
reborn.
think he'd gone mad.
It's beginning to be problematic. Oh, these poor guys,
No, those men so hysterical.
you know,
They just
believe
need a
him.
they just need an orgasm. It'll clear everything right on up.
Yeah, well, sharing is caring, guys.
I like seeing younger Moiraine and kind of getting the idea of what it's like to be an Aes Sedai because they talk about doing their time and retiring.
Right. That's the first I'd heard of that. I mean, we
Yeah,
know that Varen retired, but knowing that you could just, enlist and and then get out.
yeah, that was interesting. But we go to current day Moraine and Suan. They're
Oh, before you
talking.
go on about that, it's just I want to mention that it was really cute. Like we talk about their hopes and dreams, but she's talking about her family. And
Oh, right, she was gonna
right?
meet her
She's gonna meet
family.
her family, gonna meet her dad, and talking about how cool her dad was, and just like her sister's a little bit stuffy, but she'll be cool too. And Joanna's just like, hey, I got a little bit of nervousness around meeting your super rich family, your high class noble family when, I grew up with much humbler beginnings. So there's nervousness about meeting the fam who's much richer than anything that she could have imagined when she was a kid.
Growing up in a hut on a river.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were
Yeah.
cute together. In the current day, I realize I had wondered if Leanne knew anything about any of this. Like I know obviously they're keeping their
Mm,
relationship a secret,
right,
but as
right,
far as like the dragon stuff, I wondered if Leanne would know anything.
right.
But the fact that
Especially
she
since
hmm,
especially since she's supposed to speak with the keeper's voice, right? She's like sorry, with the Amerlin Seat's voice. She is, hand of the queen.
right. Um the fact that she had Leanne not only leave the room, but Leanne is staring down Moiraine like she's a snake tells me
Well,
that she's not in on this.
yeah, it's just like, didn't you just exile this woman? Didn't you just exile her? And now she's back and you're having a private meeting with her. We watched you say never to come in my face again. But okay. Yeah, I'd be mad. I'd be mad sus too. Like here you are breaking all the rules, and now you're here like, and I'm getting kicked out of a room when I'm supposed to be someone who, is in
Right. I'm
on
more
all the
important
shit.
than you.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, um,
Wait. So then my question to about that then is like I understand that the flashback was 20 years before, but had they been keeping their relationship a secret the whole time?
it didn't seem like it because they were
Right?
running around kissing out in public.
Frolicking. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they had a pretend breakup when she started to move up as Amerlin.
Maybe. And I also wanted to know how one becomes the Emerald seat. Tanya and I were talking offline about like how new popes are selected. And so I'm wondering what the process for that is, but like whatever, not necessarily relevant here. But tell us if you know.
Suan is kind of sick of this shit. Um,
Just a little.
she's sick of this shit. Lan prepares Rand to meet
Hmm.
the Amerlin. with
Yes.
his with his rehearsed phrase. It's a very formal greeting.
Very formal greeting.
Makes him tuck in his shirt and all of that.
I loved that scene. Um, I mean I loved it for two reasons because it's nice to see Rand and Lan together in a scene. I don't think we really got much of an interaction between them. It was focused like other places. Um, I liked it also because he like puts him in his place, right? He calls him a boy. He calls him a
Hmm.
boy. He's like, listen, you ain't ready. You don't know what you're talking about. And here is Rand pulling his naive, being like, oh, I know some things, you know? And Lan's like, you know, it's really cute that you learned some sword forms, but like next time do this, which reminded me of Zyle.
Zyle.
Zyle training Kaladin,
Oh yeah.
right? We got it in early. Boom. Yeah, so Lance basically like, listen, sit down and do as I tell you.
Well, the Emerald is tired of the way they've been doing things because 6 months later, she is able to shield Rand with barely a flick of her wrist. And honestly, Rand, really, dude?
Yeah, you're posturing against like the most powerful woman, really, and you don't even know what you're doing. What are you gonna do? Kill her?
Just burn the place down, I guess. That's the only thing
Mhm.
he seems to be able to control is burning the place down, you know.
Yeah, silly
Actually, he
boy.
can't even control that because he does it by accident.
Yeah, I mean, but he, on the other hand, he's got more control than Nynaeve does, right? He can summon,
Yeah, he can
he
at
can
least
get into
channel.
embrace the one source and the one power and like ooh, warm up like a battery, but that's about all he's got.
What do you think about her being sick of doing things this secretive way?
Honestly, I was really surprised.
I
I
was
was really
too.
surprised. I thought she was going to be like, "Hey, listen, I know they've been keeping the secret. I'm glad that I finally met you. This is how things are going to go forward now. We're going to keep it on the low still, but like we're going to figure out how to train you. You know, maybe we're going to break Logain out and like, you know, keep him, I don't know, underground somewhere while he teaches you how to channel." Um, I didn't think she was going to say, "Listen, we're just going to start following the rules because I don't know what else to do." That
Yeah,
really surprised me.
me too. That really surprised me as well.
It's just like, wait, I thought you were on our side. Like, you guys didn't have a bigger or better discussion about this. Um, and not even like her shielding him and being like, oh, we're just gonna keep you. When she was talking about, you know, we're meant to use you as a weapon for our side, we're not gonna kill you. I was like, wait, so you're gonna train him, right? You're gonna be like, this is how we're gonna get you up to speed, and we're gonna figure out how to like make you channel and
No,
get control of it. But she was just like, no.
I thought so. When she said that, I thought that's what the Adam is for.
Mm.
That's why his sister created it in the tower to
Right.
control the
The
dragon
dragon. That
and use him as
actually
a weapon.
that makes a lot of sense. That thought didn't even occur to me. Um, and when we get to that with Nynaeve, I had some questions. So I'm excited to talk about
Well,
that.
that's what I
But
thought
yeah,
when she
that's a
said
great
it.
conclusion or hypothesis. Um, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. Especially well, and because we know that it can never be removed, right? As far as we know, up until
Right.
this point, it can't be removed. So it makes sense to chain the dragon in order to control him and to be able to um channel through him. Huh. Wow. Things just made a lot more sense now. Everything. You just shifted my worldview.
You're welcome. She wants, so do you want to just keep talking about the
Yeah.
Emerald and Rand?
I'm gonna try turning my pages quietly. Because guess who has notes this time? See.
she so she wants to take him. I mean, she has the 14 sisters. She wants to announce him in Carrion and with the 14 sisters to show that they have him under their control, even though she
Mm-hmm.
knows the Reds might want to gentle him,
Yeah.
which I immediately thought, oh no, terrible idea.
Terrible idea. And she tells him, he's like, I'm tired of being a spoke in the wheel. And she's like, you're not the wheel, you're the water that turns it. Duh.
Right.
Like, we need you. Sorry. My note says, oh, Lan, that walk, meow.
Ugh.
I can't help myself.
Man
Um,
is too gorgeous.
he is, yeah. Yeah, you know what I wrote? I was saying that um making a weapon out of a chandler similar to how they're doing with the Damane, but like this is the atomic bomb version of it.
Hmm.
It's just like this is ultimate destruction. So yeah, yeah, I think that's actually a good read on it.
That's the only
But
thing
like
I can think of that
but
made
why not
sense.
bring an Adon like right then, an Adon then to just, collar him immediately.
Well, maybe they don't remember that. Maybe they don't, maybe
Mm,
that's like an old kind of forgotten use. I don't know.
mm.
I'm making this up as I go along.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. We know that all these other things have been lost, like when we find out that,
Because
and it
remember that yellow sister, what was her name? I can't remember her name. The yellow sister that they meet, that Nynaeve and Elaine met, she had no idea what the Adam was.
right.
So it could be that it's somewhere in the records,
Mm,
but it's not something that they know about anymore.
yeah. 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 I mean, because the thing is with all these time jumps and stuff, we keep getting reminded, and we've talked about it a bunch of times too now, um, that they're way behind in the times,
Hmm.
like they have lost so, so much, many times. It's like the desolation.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, the Void Bringers come and the Knights Radiant, they fight against them with the heralds, and then everything gets destroyed and they have to start all over again.
Hmm.
Number two. I love Stormlight
So
Archive so
so
much.
the plan is to announce him in Kyrian, although the prophecy says that he'll announce himself in Falm.
Hmm. And why do you think that they want to switch up the prophecy? Like, what is the advantage of doing this in a
Um,
different place?
I think she's simply not paying attention to the prophecy at this point.
Oh, because it seems to me that like we talk about the way that we talk about Matt seeing, or what's her name? Min seeing Matt stabbing Matt, that this could be one possible future. And I'm wondering if, you fuck up the timeline or switch up how things turn out if you are announcing in Chiron instead of in Fam. But I guess if she's not considering the prophecy, or if we think that she's not considering, then that's not the reason why. Because I
Yeah,
figured I was like,
I
oh,
think
she announces it there, and that changes everything for them.
yeah, I think she is just saying to herself, you know what? I know the prophecy says that he announces himself in Falm with a flaming banner across the sky, but we have him now. He's in Carian. We're just gonna announce him
Here,
and
fuck it.
show that we have him in control.
Mm,
Like fuck a prophecy. You don't have to follow a prophecy. A prophecy is supposed to just be. And of course, we find
mm,
out later on that the prophecy said fuck your plans.
yeah.
But we'll
Is
get
it
into that.
Harry? Is it Neville? We'll never know.
We haven't done a Harry Potter reference, I don't think, have we?
Oh, I think that might be our first one. No, we've mentioned Voldemort before.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the faceless
Ah,
Ishamel.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. No, not Ishamael, the Fades.
the Fade. No, no, no. The
Oh
Fades
yeah,
is the
we did
Dementors, but Ishamel is
this
when Rand was seeing with the
with
fire
the flame
eyes.
eyes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about Matt a little bit. Matt gets kidnapped.
You said
Poor
Matt.
Matt.
My mind went Lan. Yeah, Matt gets kidnapped by Lan Fear.
Who she's kidnapping him for Ishamael, who said Matt was his when he was born, or has
Hmm.
been his since he was born, which
Yeah,
has
he was
stayed with
born
me.
his.
Yes, he was born his. That's stayed with me. Um, I loved the line when Matt and Ishamael meet, and Ishamael's just sitting there whittling away when Matt says, "Is this a sex thing or a murder thing?" Because I'd like to skip the talking either way.
I wrote
I
that down too. It
yeah,
was hilarious.
I thought that was really funny. I thought it was really funny that he even considered it as a sex thing. Because remember, he doesn't
Yeah.
know that he's talking to Two Forsaken.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
It's just
But
some lady has kidnapped him, and now this dude is like, "Here, drink this shroom tea."
yeah, he like wakes up and it's kind of like the dark chamber, right? You wake up and you're like, oh, I don't know where I am, except it's luxurious.
Yeah,
He doesn't know he's been kept as an honored guest
right. And then he
by
looks
two
out the window,
Forsaken.
and he's in Falm.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love how things are happening that's just forcing everyone to fall. So
Yeah.
okay, so a lot of my predictions have been completely wrong as to how this was going to end, but now I know next episode Rand is going to proclaim himself the dragon and fall
Mm-hmm.
with the flaming banner across the sky. It has to happen now. It
Mm-hmm.
has to happen now. I was wrong that this episode was going to have a huge battle since we did not get a huge battle. We just got shit getting fucked up, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I unwittingly watched the fucking what you call it, the
Oh, the
trailer, the
previews for the
preview
next
for
one.
next time. It was against my will.
I did not. So
Yeah, I won't say anything then. Yeah.
Matt drinks
So
shroom tea.
that's what I said. He's streaming, streaming. That's what it looks like. Your hands do weird shit. It's kind of great, but
That does not
yeah.
sound great.
No, well, it actually is. It depends on how much tea you're drinking. Um, but I was really curious about it because I was like, well, what is he going to see? Why is it to Ishamel's Ishi? We're calling him Ishi. Ishi's benefit to have Matt see his past lives, and also wouldn't you be curious too? Like, I'd want to know what my different incarnations were like.
Yeah, I'd
Was
want to
I?
know my
I would
past
be like,
lives.
do you think that Matt? He's like, well, I've been kidnapped. Maybe in the back of his brain, he's like, well, they're forcing me to drink this tea. I must have been important.
Right. And instead he finds out he's been a piece of shit in every life.
Every single lifetime. Like sometimes so bad that he's killing people, other times so bad that he's killing himself. Like imagine that this is your destiny over and over and over again to be just like a terrible, dark, horrible person. And here's this issue saying, like, you know what? I'm just tired of this. Tired of this, tired of coming back to only live the same type of life over and over and over again, like the desolation. That was actually where my reference was, but yeah, just to do the same thing over and over again. Like I'm not, the wheel has me in the same path. And
It explains why Ishamael said that Matt's been his since he was born.
he's always been dark.
He's in every life he's been like
Yeah.
itching to be dark.
Yeah.
And so we
Whether,
meet him as like a petty theft, but clearly he's headed down a much darker path.
yeah. And it didn't matter whether he was a man or a woman, he was just
And we
always
still don't know
trash.
what's up with that knife.
We still don't know what's up with that knife, although some people had some suspicions that it's that Pat and Fane took it, which we have not yet to
I don't
prove.
see how Pat and Fane would have
I
gotten it.
still don't know how he got it if it was in the tower, but unless Leandrin got it to him, and then I don't know. But anything's possible. I'm sure we'll see. I'm sure it'll come up. Um, yeah. And then
Well,
just to wake up from this thing and just be like, shook.
yeah. And
And then,
now Shamel's gotten his interest in stopping the wheel, which is setting up for him
mhm,
stabbing Rand.
yeah, yeah. Except that we know Rand is not the wheel; he's the water. So how is this going to work
Well,
out?
if you stop the water, the wheel stops moving.
That's true. I wonder now if Ishi's gonna proclaim himself as a Forsaken, or if he like lets him know who he is. Because right now, all Matt knows is there's this rich guy who gave me shroom tea, um, and he wants to stop things. And now that I know that I've had a miserable go of it, and there's nothing that I can do to change, that I'm gonna keep having a miserable go of it because this is all that all my life has been in each and every life. Um, yeah, could see him joining the darks.
I mean, I guess it wasn't a stretch to see Matt going dark.
I feel like that's the understatement of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt. Poor Matt. Poor Matt. Yeah, we knew he was destined for darkness. Now it's just been confirmed. But I also wonder, like, can you still break your fate? Can he choose differently? Can he
I don't
go
know.
his own way?
Or again, maybe he does end up stabbing Rand, but Rand doesn't die.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very real possibility. What I don't know and I guess this is something that I should have paid attention to. Like, is there like a self-defense mode of channeling? Like, if somebody sneaks up behind you, that it's just going to be like, you're not going to be able to activate self-defense mode so that your weaves are protecting you.
I don't know.
Because I feel like if you're the Dragon Reborn, that you'd have some like just like he's able to channel when he's in danger, right? Like that's
Hmm.
the only time he's been able to call on it to protect himself. So is there like an auto engage mechanism if you are the dragon reborn? Hmm. And the reason I
No
say that is
idea.
like, well, then how would you be able to get next to Rand if this is a system that is actually in place? But like I
No,
said, don't know.
probably
Speculations.
it probably isn't. I mean, he is still like a human person.
Hmm.
So, you could sneak up on him the way you
Yeah, I
sneak up on
mean,
anyone else.
yeah, and then I think about
So,
the way that Moraine did sneak up on Lanfear and
right,
take her out for 20 seconds.
right. And Matt doesn't have to sneak up to Rand. All he has to do is be next to him
Yeah, true, true,
because
true.
it's his friend. So maybe he's gonna get that knife back somehow. Maybe we'll find out what happened to it. And that would that because Min saw him stab Rand with the knife.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he has to get it back somehow. Poor Matt. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
stand a chance.
Poor guy.
Elaine and Nynaeve in foam.
Ugh, I called her nonsense naive. Naive. uh, man. Ugh, I'm so I cannot wait to stop being annoyed at her.
I loved how Elaine put her in her place and was like, no.
Me
She just
too.
simply said no. We tried
She's
it
like,
your way.
no. She's like, your plans suck. Listen to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I loved that for her.
Mm-hmm.
And Nynaeve was like stunned because no one talks to her like that.
Oh, wait. I have a Lanfear thing with
What?
Matt real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he asked her, how did I get here? She's like, that's my little secret. And my question is, if you can die in a dream if Lanfear's in there, like, can she also transport people in dreams from one place to another?
I don't think so. I assume that she just brought him through the ways in
Oh, the
Kyrian into
ways. I
Falm.
forgot about the ways. Okay, that makes more sense. I was
Because
like
there
wondering.
was a way gate in Kyrian. So,
Yeah, okay.
and she has the source. She could probably use it to carry him. She
Mm,
probably doesn't have to do much.
yeah. Well, I didn't think that she carried him herself, but yeah, okay, cool. That would be
Yeah,
really
I
cool if
mean, I just
if
mean
she could
like,
transport people in dreams, like, true. And
that
then
would
I
be
was like,
way too freaky.
was Rand really there in the cell with Nynaeve? Was it not just a dream? Oh, not Nynaeve, with Egwene. Was it
Egwene.
not just a dream? But I'm
No.
inventing systems of magic now.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Back to Nynaeve and Elaine, and Elaine saying, "Your plans suck. Listen to
Your
me."
plan set. We're gonna do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Thank God.
Thank
Thank
God.
God. Because Nynaeve's like, let's storm the castle gates. And I'm like, what?
It's like, girl, what
And
are
do
you
what?
talking about?
You don't
You
even
can't
know if
even,
she's at the castle,
but you can't even protect yourself with the source.
you know? Especially
So,
in a place where they have like source use detectors.
right. And where you are actively being hunted.
Why is she so dumb?
I don't know.
Can't. Can't with her. Drink.
Well,
Uh,
Elaine's plan is to meet Loyal,
mhm,
and they do meet Loyal, and I love Loyal, as well read as he is, immediately
mhm.
recognizes Elaine, Trakan, daughter heir, and you know,
Bends the knee.
bends the knee, and Nynaeve's like, oh, don't encourage her. And I'm like, girl, shut up.
Yeah.
Let him pay his respects as he should.
Yes.
I think there's a little bit of
Like, don't
jealousy.
encourage her. I think so. I think so for sure.
There's jealousy, not just of like her status as like she's so important, and Nynaeve is a regular peasant girl from some
Hmm.
faraway village, but also over her friendship with Egwene and
I was just gonna say, yeah.
how powerfully she feels about Egwene. So it's
Knowing that
almost
they've
like,
known each other for like 3 days and she's willing
right.
to risk everything to go find her.
And also that Elaine can channel at will, which
Hmm.
is another thing Nynaeve can't do.
Yeah.
She may not be as powerful, but at least she can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think there's some jealousy there, and it came through when Loyal was, you know, prostrating himself.
Yeah. And I like that she returns the courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
She calls him the builder. And it's just like it goes and it confirms everything that she said. No, you need this information. She's not being held where you think she is. It's a whole other place and it's dangerous. There is no
Mm-hmm.
coming out of there. Thanks,
And
Loyal.
there's no going in there.
Yes.
What did he say? It was like they don't let anyone but Sul'dam within like 100 yards or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, girl,
Yeah.
your plan really did suck,
Hmm.
as it always does. But new plan, use the Adam. So what I again thought was going to happen was
Mm-hmm.
one of them would pretend to be Sul'dam and the other would pretend to be Damane.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I sat there wondering which one is going to wear the
Oh
collar.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me too. But I liked the plan that they came up with. That was much better.
it was definitely better. You know what? When she said, how do you, I hope it hurts,
Mm-hmm.
is when I was like, wait, because I thought she was
Yeah,
gonna. I
yeah,
still was thinking she was gonna put it on Elaine,
yeah.
and so when she said, "I hope it hurts," I was like, damn, bitch, that's
I
kind of
was thinking
mean.
that like because but they don't even really know what it does yet, right? And I was like, well,
Right.
what if Elaine as the daughter heir has to put it on Nynaeve? But this at this point they don't really know what it does. They just know that it
Mm-hmm.
can't be removed and they know that it is only complete when it's being worn by a
Mm-hmm.
channeler. I'm not saying I would have liked to see it on Nynaeve, but
I
maybe
think
the
you would
thought
have.
crossed my mind. So can we just continue talking about them then?
Yeah,
Yeah. So they find the woman, they find a Suldan and they collar her. And I've got questions.
I have
Question
so many
question
questions.
number one. She's already wearing the armband, the bracelet, right?
She was
Yeah, I thought she was. I thought that she had it on her arm.
because they usually
Because
they
she asked
usually hang
her,
them up in the cell.
how does this fit? I thought, well, let's go back and look and see. Because I thought that she had it on her arm and then made me wonder, like, one, you just wearing those out and about, and two, like, how effective can this be if you already are, you know, wearing the bracelet?
I didn't think she was wearing it because Brenna showed us that they leave it in the cell with their damane. So if she's out and about without her damane, there's no reason for her to be wearing it.
I'll go back and I'll look.
Yeah.
And the second thing was that will this be the thing that gives Nynaeve control over her channeling finally? Is she
Hmm.
going to be, if this is going to be the thing that helps her learn how to do it because she's like, you know, taking power or channeling her own power? And then also makes me wonder, can the Sultan channel themselves? Like, how does this work? So yeah, more questions than answers,
I
but
still think
it
that
made me think.
Suldam I still think that Suldam can't channel,
Mhm.
or at least they're not supposed to be able to, because I still think that if once a woman can channel, you immediately become a damane. You are not a person anymore. So I still think the Suldam can't channel, and that somehow the Tarangrial just, you know, that connection to it.
Mhm.
Because remember when they were going into when Nynaeve was going into the arches, they said that there are some Tarangrial that anyone can use.
Mhm.
So there are some that only an Aes Sedai can use. There are some that any woman can that who can channel can use, and I think they said there are some that anyone can use, and
Oh,
that
I
they
don't
just don't
remember
know
that.
what's what. I think that's what they said. Now I have to go back and make sure I'm not lying. In any case, they're able to use it somehow, and I think Sildam are not supposed to be able to channel. Otherwise, they would be the ones wearing collars, and another woman would be controlling them.
Mhm. Yeah.
So what
So then,
happens to a woman who can't channel who wears the collar?
yeah, that's my question too. And if she can't channel, then yeah, I don't know. Nynaeve's really powerful. Like, is the what is the flow? You know, is it AC or DC? I wonder. But I'm glad they finally have a plan that looks like it might do something.
Right.
At
Like
least get them
I
in to see
assume she's
Egwene.
gonna take her clothes and they'll switch.
Yeah, yeah. How do you take her clothes if she's all collared
I don't know, but I mean they must bathe somehow.
up? Well, you see Rena helping Egwene bathe.
Yeah, and Egwene is still like filthy, but the other ones weren't like all gross and stink.
Yeah. Wonder what they do when they're on their periods.
Oh, I would not like to think about that.
Hmm.
I'd one power it away. Just pull it all out at once and just dash it
Oh
against the wall.
my God, that would be awesome.
I don't know why I dash it against the wall. That's horrible.
because it's frustrating, like you want to hurt it the way it hurts you. At least I would. Uh, Yikes. Shout
Ah.
out to women and people with uteruses because that shit is no joke. Anyway, yeah.
Speaking
Onward.
of speaking of Egwene, we get Damane practice, and it turns out that Rena is a novice.
Mm-hmm. I bet Egwene fucking shit up.
Egwene is incredibly powerful, and if Nynaeve is still more powerful, that is terrifying, and I need her to get it under control
For
quickly.
real. Like for real.
So when
Yeah.
because she said to her, "I don't need anything from you now,"
Mm-hmm.
so she is fully controlling and forcing the weaves with whatever that wristlet does.
Yeah. And it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that it's uncomfortable. But it was crazy because you see the first woman go and she like makes her little cute circle and you're like, "Aw."
Right.
Right. We're like, "Oh," and I just knew Egwene was gonna be next. I knew like when she was telling them, she's like, "Oh, okay." I knew that when she was telling her all these, giving her the pep talk, "Don't embarrass me because you will suffer for that shit when we get home."
Yeah.
Behave yourself now because when we get home, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Right.
Um, and just like I knew it was going to be really powerful. And she was like saying that we could feel it from here to there. But it made
Mm-hmm.
me hold on, I had a question. Well, and the other thing is that she was saying, everybody will know that you're mine, you know?
Yeah.
And so this was another thing that brought me back to, well, what do they have to gain from it? What kind of status do they get from having a powerful channeler? What does this mean for her ability to climb socially? Um, but it made me wonder because Rena said something to Egwene. She was like, I think she said, "I know that you saw her light," or "I think that you saw her light." And that made me wonder, does that mean, is she asking um Egwene if she could see, how you could see there's someone's
See the
ability to
weaves. Yeah.
channel? Yeah.
If you can channel, you can see somebody else's weaves.
Right. So then she lets off this ginormous wave that is felt all the way back in the city. And I
Mm-hmm.
was so
Cracks
proud of
the
her.
earth.
Cracks the earth.
And she's
You know,
proud of herself. And it's back
yeah.
to that like kind of sickening feeling of like being proud of
Yeah.
yourself, but still like not in this situation really.
Yeah. She was given Nasan, a powerful orogeny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice that when the trainer asked Rena her Damane's name and she told her she kept her name, her face twitched a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It
Did you
sure
notice that?
did. It sure
And
did. It makes me wonder if they have doubts about her.
yeah, yeah,
Like, are you not strong enough? You're not strong-willed enough to give. Why would you let her keep her name? Like, how rare is that?
right. And she mentioned when we first see her with the Egwene in the cell, she even says like, other Sildam don't agree with me, but I think there should be, I don't remember what she
Mm-hmm.
said, like a friendship or relationship
I'm gonna go
between us.
connect.
Yeah. So because of Rena's attitude about wanting to have like an actual relationship with her Domane, like more like a pet than like a farm animal,
Mm-hmm.
um, it kind of shows she's a little bit more unconventional than the other Sildam. And then also letting Egwene keep her name
Mm-hmm.
is also unconventional. And so I do wonder if that's gonna come back to bite her.
Yeah. It makes me really wonder about her background too. Like, where is
Mm-hmm.
she from that she thinks that it's actually um, more beneficial to have a relationship? What has she seen that what has she seen before? Like, does she see Damane and Sultan who have a quote unquote friendship as, much as you can be friends with someone who's keeping you a slave? Um, and has that worked out historically in the past much better?
Well, maybe she feels like she'll be able to control her better if she's happy to be a pet,
Mm, yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, it's like keeping a tiger as a pet, right? You're like, oh, you feed it and it's going to be grateful for its meal times and stuff, but let it get the chance one time. It's
Yeah.
going to rip your face off.
Like Egwene will next
Hmm.
episode. I still think she's gonna get free next episode.
I don't know. You know what I'm up for? What I'd be into? I'd be into Nynaeve and Elaine finding her, and then like they're having some plan that they think is going to work, and then they're all getting trapped until next season.
No, I don't
Yeah.
want that at all.
I want more drama.
I want them to show up, um, torture that Sul'dam they captured,
Hmm.
maybe put on the armband and make her collar come off somehow,
Hmm.
and then throw the collar on Rena, or like or let Egwene wear the wristband and torture Rena or something.
Right. I kind of want Rand to set Egwene free.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like it would be romantic.
Yeah, I guess.
But
He
he's got
has
bigger fish to
Yeah,
fry.
he has other things going on. I know he really wants to go
Uh,
save her, but he has a lot of other things going
and all
on.
and as I say that, I don't think Lanfear would let that happen.
No, Lanfear would kill her first.
Yeah. I guess he's got to stay away for her safety.
We only got a little bit of Aviendha and Perrin this episode. We learned a little bit more about Aiel uh
Customs.
rituals,
Yeah.
customs when they
Yeah.
beat her ass.
Yeah, she got jumped.
They really fucked her up.
Hmm.
And I don't even know what to say about it other than goddamn.
That's her penance. She said that she was defending herself, and because she was defending herself, her homie died, and that's the price she had to pay.
And now they're cool again and they
Now
just
they're
move
cool
on,
again.
which
She
is
got
just
she got jumped back in.
yes, she did. Exactly. She got jumped back in.
Like, no mind that like she was kidnapped, she found her way back, and now that
Right.
she's back, she's got to pay the price. So yeah. The thing about it is that she went into her ass kicking willingly because she knew she had her penance. And, there was this moment where the two other ladies looked at her. They like looked at her and like, okay, this is what you want to do. They looked at each other like, all right, this is what it is. Let's do it. Like, huh, like imagine if we had to like, if you, I don't know, we went to battle and some other battle buddy of ours died, and the penance for that was that we had to kick the shit out of each other. But I guess, these are
Like,
customs.
and they were not pulling their
Oh
punches.
no. No, 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 no. It was
They
full
were really
force.
beating her ass. I was like, you're gonna kill her.
Yeah. But I did like also that on top of seeing like this part of their I guess, society, um of this part of their beliefs, that we their faith maybe is a better way of saying it, that there's this other side of it, like the way that they consider the wheel is that life is but a dream, and then you wake up from it when it's over, right? It's like the waking up. That part I thought was really cool, and she mentions it again later. uh maybe that was in the recap, but she does mention it again. I liked that.
They see a beach for the first time and their minds are fucking blown. And now we have them in Falm. And
They're
so
in
we have
fall.
three Aiel. So that I
Mhm.
do think again, there's gonna be fighting, Nikki.
Oh, I
There's
think
gonna be
I
fighting.
yeah, there will be
And the
fighting.
Aiel are gonna jump in and it's gonna be awesome because they better not give me three Aiel women and not have them
Oh no, they're
fuck
gonna
some
kick.
shit up.
They're definitely gonna fuck some shit up. But my question is, where are the rest of them?
The
Like, what?
Aiel
Yeah, like where are the others?
in the
And
Aiel Waste in
okay,
their desert.
but like,
What was
she
she
just
doing
had
out there?
what was they just happened? She just happened to catch them out there, mourning their friend. Um,
Well, no, it looked like
and why
she
and why go to Fawn? Why go with Perrin?
because that's her toe. He saved her life.
Mm,
So she has to now help him.
got it. Okay, I can
And the
accept
other
that.
two are going along with it. And she also said they were looking for their Karakarn, which is like their chosen
Oh,
one.
they're
Remember that?
right, right. And is that person not the dragon?
I think that person is the dragon.
Hmm. Oh, wait. And Rand is IU.
And Rand is Aiel.
Okay.
It's
It
all
all
coming
makes sense now.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also just thought it was funny that she asked him if that ring meant a woman owned him.
Yeah.
And
And
she
he's like,
said, Bane will be disappointed. Chiad will not care.
uh,
Poor
yeah.
parent. He has no idea what he's
No.
in for.
Mm-mm. He's just had missionary his whole little married life. About to turn him out.
Uh, let's see.
Logade?
Logain. Lan and Logain confirmed what I have been holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
The blackfish is still dead,
No,
but Moiraine is not stilled.
no, no.
The blackfish is dead.
Off-screen deaths don't count.
The blackfish is dead,
No,
but Moiraine has not been stilled.
I refuse to accept that. I accept that she hasn't been still, but I will never accept that the blackfish is dead. He's my zaddy, and I love him, and he's gonna come back.
May he rest in peace. The land in Logain, uh, Logain can see male weaves. That was the thing I did not know, was that
Mm-hmm.
the men see male weaves and the women see female weaves.
Right.
How does that work for trans people in their society if they have them?
Oh, that's a good question. But I guess we had a hint of that when Logain looked up and saw Rand on the wall and started laughing maniacally. He must have been like, "Oh,
All
look
right,
at
he
that
saw
shit."
him like glowing.
Yeah, yeah. He's like he's even more powerful than me. Um, yeah. But I like that he confirmed that, and I like that Lan is like, you know what? I'm just gonna go rogue. Moiraine's going rogue. I'm gonna go rogue because I just know that she doesn't really mean it. She's just like really, really down right now,
And Alana and Maxim were with
bereft.
him. Remember, Maxim was outside checking himself out and his knife.
I loved that part. I love that. And I also like that we got to see, the tenderness between him and Alana.
Maxim and Alana.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really important to me. And
because
I
now they
also,
know that Landfair is real and is back. And this
mhm,
thing that the
been
Greens, remember,
training
they're the
for.
ones who've been training to fight the last battle for thousands of years.
It's
Now
finally
it's
here.
here.
Yeah. And I also like seeing that, the democracy within the relationship when
Hmm.
they were like in the very beginning where he wanted to follow what's her name?
Varen.
Varen's
I thought it was so interesting. I know we said we were going to talk about Land and Logain, but we'll get back to it. I thought it
yeah.
was really interesting that Ivan does not trust Varen because, again, we're seeing
Hmm.
everybody's point of view
Yeah.
and they're not seeing each other. And so, first thinking that Land might be a dark friend, and then now not trusting Varen, and Maxim making the great point of where did Leandrin go, which we
Hmm.
find out later. And Ivan is gone in the scene. We don't know where he went
Yeah, we don't know where he went.
because he was going to follow Tomas,
Yes, that's what I
Varen's
said, Thomas, but Varen's
her
warder.
warder.
Right. And so I liked seeing that he didn't just get to do it. They're like, no,
Yeah.
it's two against one. All right, you go ahead and do this. I like seeing that within the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
but we did never get to see them again. So obviously we'll see them next episode. Da da
Mm-hmm.
da da.
And we'll find out
But
what he was up to,
yeah, and if they can be trusted.
if they can be trusted. So Lan and Logain can see the male weaves, and he realized that Moraine has a weave that's been tied off and nothing is being
Hmm.
channeled into it, which they think is like impossible.
Right. So
And once
basically they
again,
shielded, they have they're able to make a shield that contains itself, which
right.
no one else has been able to do.
Yeah,
Or
she's
for
tied in
has
a knot.
forgotten how.
Yeah, they've forgotten how to do it. Like, how useful would that have been to go when they were trying to hold Logain, right?
Oh yeah, totally. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
They can get like 16 sisters to tie him off and then just go back to, doing whatever
Yeah.
it is they need to do.
Yeah. Could have saved some lives.
Hmm. But that was very affirming for me.
Congrats.
Thank you. We forgot to mention that Egwene has a bed now.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, she has a bed now. In that scene where Renna comes to wash her
Right,
hands and her
right.
face, there was a bed. And I love that. I loved the moment when she tells her that she will kill her.
Yeah.
And of course, Renna's upset because she thought maybe they were besties now. But did you notice she was braiding her hair?
Yeah, I did notice that she
She
was
had
braiding her
kept it
hair.
unbraided at the tower, and now she's going back to her Two Rivers roots.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that means she is about to be free next week to wreck shop. I'm holding on to my hope. I don't want to see her still locked up by the end
Mm,
of the season. All right, let's talk about Barthanes.
I didn't know he had it in him.
So Leandrin goes to visit the Damodred house and sits there all rude.
Wait, question. So let's start there. She goes to visit Zamodrin house. Why did you think she was there? I mean, obviously we find out, but like what, unless you knew already, because I don't know if you knew,
No,
but
I did not know. I thought maybe she was gonna like find some way to either blackmail or threaten Moraine.
uh,
Um, I really was kind of clueless. That I just assumed she was either gonna just, threaten her family or something.
yeah, I thought she was there for some intel. She's looking for some dirt on Moiraine to bring back to everybody.
Right. Or to turn her for a Shamael.
Yeah, I didn't think she was there to turn her, but I think maybe she was there to like find something that, proved her disloyalty or something. Uh, or that she would find out then that, through someone that she'd been stilled, but nobody else knew. So yeah, I was very suspicious when she walked up in the house, but I did not expect what happened.
No, I didn't expect that at all. And it was interesting. She was just like so cold and rude, just sitting there until, Barthanes sends his mother away rudely, I might
Rudely,
add,
like so surprising. I was like, what
because
the
he's been
fuck?
so kind and like meek up until this point.
Yeah. And now it makes you wonder like why he was being so nice to Moraine, right? He was like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, she remembers me as this like, delightful little child. But
But
does
I do
that
believe he still loves her.
Hmm.
I do believe he
Well,
still like loves his aunt because when she told him what he had to do, he's like, she's my aunt. He was taken
yeah.
aback by it, also still willing to do it. But,
Yeah.
you know, his bargain was to give himself to the dark
Hmm.
so that House Damodred can rise. And look how high it's risen. He's going to be king.
I know. I was so sorry for Anvir at that point because I'm like, here she thinks that she's the reason, like all the hard work that she's been doing
Hmm.
is the reason that they've been able to rise so high, and it had nothing to do with that.
Right.
Which
A
make
shout out to her to go with her little sneaky hole
hmm
to listen in on the conversation.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad that they have those built in, and obviously he doesn't know that they exist,
Hmm.
right? But also, like, I would not, I would be listen, I would be figure out a way to listen in too, if I were
Because
her.
he did
What the
say it
fuck?
was royal business.
He did
And
say
we
it was
know
royal
that
business, but
and we know that the Aes Sedai do work with the royals. They're advisors to them.
but I would be. I think anyone should be suspicious of a Red Aja coming over to their house to have a conversation with a man.
Right. And he seemed kind of nervous. I still didn't think he was a dark friend though.
No, it makes me wonder at what point in his life this deal was made. Like did he maybe see his mommy suffering and someone was like, "Hey, see, know that you guys have fallen on some hard times. Let me restore you to your rightful place. All you got to do is come over to the dark side." It's like Anakin Skywalker would have done that shit.
Yeah, how long has he? How much of it was her work and how much of it was his?
Yeah. How long has this been going on? Yeah. And then the fact that she's like, oh yeah, and by the way, if your mom gets in the way, just you know,
Off her
kill her,
too.
kill her too.
I was like, I was stunned. My jaw was on the floor when I realized he was a
Hmm.
dark friend. That actually really surprised me.
Yeah, me
I
too.
did not see that coming. I also didn't think it was going to be resolved that quickly either.
Oh yeah, me neither. I really didn't. I thought it was going to be drawn out. I thought we were going to see some intrigue leading up to it.
Hmm.
Um, but no, they had to push things along.
And when he shows up to that cell and he's like, and she's in there, and they're like, yeah, we put a sedative in her tea. I was like, when?
Yeah,
I just kept thinking,
exactly.
like, when did she end up there? She's supposed to be with Rand and the other
Yeah,
sisters.
did she
Like,
go home because she forgot her bag?
well,
Like
I
what?
think she was in a cell. She was allegedly in a cell somewhere else, but
Mm.
still, I was really confused. And
Oh yeah, maybe he thought that the Amerlin seed put her in a cell or something for
I don't, yeah, I
doing
don't
some fuck
know.
shit.
I have no idea, but yeah, I, at that point, I was just like, okay, how is she going to get out of this? She can't channel. Like, is she about to have to fight her nephew? Like, I didn't expect that his mother was going to trap him. And then I
Hmm.
didn't expect that his mother had already told the queen or whoever she told. And I did not expect that these soldiers were going to show up to murk him. Like, all of it happening so fast. I was like,
Yeah,
holy shit.
yeah. I respect that. I respect that.
I mean, I can't imagine how hard that must have been for her to do.
Oh yeah, totally. But
That's
she,
her only child.
I mean, she told him, she was like, I didn't think that you would go through with it. Like maybe she probably would have sat, like you would have sat there, right? Just hoping that he never shows up and then being
Hmm.
relieved that he doesn't. But the fact that he came, and the
Ready
fact
to
that she
draw
was
his
like,
sword, like he was ready
right.
to go.
And she told him is like, Moraine is difficult, but she knows right from wrong. And maybe that's the one thing that I learned from her. And this is the right thing because the light needs to prevail. And he chose the wrong side, boo.
I wonder how Leandrin's gonna take that because now Anver knows Leandrin
Mhm.
is a dark friend.
Yeah.
So she knows that there is a dark friend Aes Sedai, and
Mhm.
she's gonna have to tell Moiraine. So now Anver, if Leandrin finds out Barthanes has been killed because he was trapped by his
Right.
mother,
Yeah. She's got a
Anver's life
target
is
on
in
her back.
danger.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we also know that Emerald Seat is in the city. So there are 13 other Aes Sedai that she could go, tell this information to.
And how does she know who to trust? How does she know if the other ones are dark friends as well? There's no way to know, you know, who's safe and who's not unless she somehow gets an audience with the Amerlin herself. Because I would assume you would think the Amerlin isn't a dark friend. I think you would at least hold on
Right.
to that, unless you're Nikki.
Unless you're me. Although, I guess we have confirmed this episode that she is not.
No, she is not a dark friend. That
I
would
love it.
be
I love a good conspiracy theory though.
yes, I love to firmly place your tinfoil crown on you. See and
Ooh,
see what comes out.
look at me. I've been promoted to a crown.
During all of this, Jessica is sneaking an Ogier map to Varen, which you don't
Hmm.
know right away. Um,
Jessica, who I didn't realize until I watched The Goblet of Fire with my nephew last weekend, was Cho, all
mhm.
grown up. Yeah.
So we didn't know why she was sneaking the map to Varen. And even though we knew Varen was working with Moraine, we didn't
Hmm.
really know what she was going to do.
Right.
Um, when she showed up and tricked Leanne into leaving, when I rewatched it, I was like listening closely to what she said to her. And I
Yes.
was like, damn, she is clever with her words.
Mm, yeah.
Nothing, yeah, because,
None
they
of it
tell
was a
us they can't
lie.
lie. Yeah, they tell us they can't lie. And like, sometimes, well, I'm just thinking to like later Game of Thrones where they just went back on all kinds of shit that they had said. The
Right.
I've never known bells to mean surrender. If they ring the bells, they're surrendering. Shit like that.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and see if she actually lied. I had to know. And I was like, wow, she really didn't
She
lie.
really
She was
didn't.
very clever with what she said.
Hmm.
And she did, shield him for a few seconds, a few moments. And then she broke his ass loose. Meanwhile, he's calling his ex-girlfriend, like, come pick me up. Mom, it sucks here. Come get me.
I don't want to spend the night anymore.
Yeah. And so
uh,
much, so much was going on at that point. Landfair's going
yeah,
through, and she's just burning the city down. So, no battle, but
yeah. And it's like, do you think that he was provoking her into action? Because earlier she's like, "Oh, I love when you try to manipulate me. It's so cute."
who,
It,
Landfair?
yeah, to
Oh yeah.
Rand, right? And now he's like provoked her into taking action, um, and she's just loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Pew 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 pew. It's just like you said earlier. It's just the slightest flick of her wrist, and things are just burning down.
And I'm sure she was enjoying that too.
Yeah, I mean, you could see on her face she was having the time of her life.
So she's a one-man army tearing up the city because it seems like there isn't even fighting happening. It's just really
No.
confusing. It's just fires and explosions happening.
And not like in like where the peasants live,
Yeah. The
which should
Amerlin,
obviously force the Aes Sedai's hand to go protect the weak.
the Amerlin is making it rain. Landfair is burning shit up looking for Rand. The Ogier map turns out was for a waygate because Chiron was built over a former steading. Shout out to the Browns being researchers because only they
Mm-hmm.
would know some shit like that.
Right.
And Lan, who this whole time I didn't realize but had been all these questions he'd been asking Moiraine all this time
Mm-hmm.
was because to him, it didn't make sense the way she was behaving, that she'd been stilled. She
Right.
wasn't, she was showing, I think she was showing more anger than depression.
Right.
Although I guess
Right.
depression can come out as anger too.
Depression is anger turned inward.
Mm. But she
That's what
wasn't
they say.
suicidal.
No,
And he
no.
says that there are only two women in Tower
Our
history
history.
that did not kill themselves after being stilled.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks her flat out if she ever wanted to end it. And she's like, hell no. Like, I need to protect Rand and I need to complete this mission. And so
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that this whole time it's because in his mind, there has to be something else going on. She couldn't have been stilled. And I
Right.
also wonder if that has to do with their bond, because we were
Right.
asking if she's stilled, does it break their bond?
Mm-hmm.
So they still had a bond. I don't have the answer to that, but they obviously still had a bond that she was masking.
Yeah. And the other thing is like we saw what happens when an Aes Sedai is killed and the bond is broken that way, like ripped from them.
Mm-hmm.
And we I forgot his name, but we let
Steppen.
Stefan, but we see, but Lan saw that firsthand. Lan saw that firsthand, and so he knows what it looks like when someone
Mm-hmm.
is, bereft
And
like
he's
that.
not suffering that way.
He's not.
And, Alana had explained it as his wasn't ripped from him, and that maybe that's why. But it turns out it's because she's not been stilled, which again, hooray.
He's dancing, guys.
So, thanks to Lan's scholarly research, we know that there is simply a weave knot holding her powers together,
And if
keeping
you've
them
ever
from
worn a
her.
weave, you know those are serious. You gotta cut them out.
If you've ever seen a tumbleweave blowing in the street, you know that some shit just cannot be detangled. You just have to cut it out.
Yeah.
And she ends up having to trust Rand. I did think that when they got there, that Rand was going to open the way gate and just like fuck something
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So I was happy to see that he had put it together and knew that Rand could just simply cut it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, to think it was that simple, but you just needed a man to be able to see those weaves.
Right.
None
Right.
of her sisters could have
Could
seen
see
it.
it. Yeah. Hmm.
Who knows what else they're missing out on because of that?
So
Or what
much.
else, because they're male forsaken who can channel. So who knows what else they're going to
Mm-hmm.
be missing out on because they don't have male channelers. They only have Rand.
Right. Like it seems to me that there's a lot lost, and we keep hearing that been a lot lost in the last 3,000 years, but is that partially because they have been so adamant about keeping men from channeling and from stilling them? Like what are the losses in technological advances that may have been made, or just advances in channeling that may have been made, and you have other people to make trial and error, to make these mistakes that lead to discoveries, like if there were male brown Aja and stuff. And it's just
Right.
like, and if you know that they're destined to go mad, like, why not keep them around until they do, and then do them the mercy of stilling them and maybe
Like
killing them,
gentling them.
gentling them, and maybe killing them if that's what they want.
Because it is kind of like a yin and yang situation. Even their symbol, it's like the dragon fang and
Mm-hmm.
then the tear.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
like,
it's like you need both sides
need balance.
to make it complete.
Yeah.
And they don't have that.
Yeah.
And Suan says it would have been so much easier if you'd been a girl,
Yeah.
which was
I
I'm sure was
giggled.
very insulting.
Mm.
Um, so Moiraine gets her power back. Hooray. Except
Hooray.
Suan shows up and gives her the command.
She calls her a liar.
Yes, she called her a liar, which shocked me because she can't lie. So
Well,
was it just, I mean, she did know she can't lie. Well, although she never said she was stilled, Lan told her.
yeah,
So
that too.
it could have been just she had Lan lie, I guess.
But so a couple questions here is that one, do you think that it's possible? Like the reason I'm going to say the answer to this is no, but do you think that, seeing her opening this way gate and knowing that she had not been able to channel, whether or not she knew she, had been stilled or not, um, did that make her think that she'd been betrayed on a deeper level and that she turned into a dark, had become a dark friend. But the fact that she was still able to get her to obey, right? To like force her to
Because she
obey
swore on the oath
the
rod.
oath rod, would that have still, if she had, if she had turned to the dark, would that have still held up? And my guess is no, because it seems that once you are a dark friend, you're
You
removed from
can
your
break your
oaths.
oaths.
Yeah.
I don't think that she thought Moraine was a dark friend when she thought she lied to her. I think that
Seeing her
she,
go through the Waygate with Lanfear did it.
well, yeah, that probably, I think, no, I think that she thinks Moraine is manipulating her to some end.
Mhm.
What end, I don't know. But whatever it is, their trust is completely broken.
Yeah.
And so when Lanfair shows up and just destroys everything again, just easily, like, sorry, Suan, she's a Forsaken. Like, she's gonna
Like
beat
the
your ass.
fact
There's
that
nothing you can
she,
do. You're lucky she didn't kill you.
yeah, I guess like as the Amerlin seat, you have an obligation to try, but
Yeah. Yeah.
goddamn.
And Rand doesn't let her kill Moraine.
Mm-hmm.
And, once again, she's like, oh, you are more and more like him. It's like, are you falling more in love? Are you angry?
It,
Like,
it would
she's very
seem so.
confusing.
It would seem so. Like
She's very
she's that much
confusing.
closer to getting her original boo back,
Yeah, seeing her give Moraine the order though was kind of heartbreaking.
You could tell it was breaking her heart. She did not want to have to do that. She did not want to have to pull rank on her in that way.
And it's
Because
clear
that's a
she never
betrayal
has.
too.
Right. I mean, you're forcing her body to
Hmm.
do something that she didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And then I also wonder, do the oaths does the Amerlin must take oaths when they become Amerlin,
Oh
right?
yeah, I'm sure.
And so the oaths must include not giving commands that would break oaths or are for evil or,
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
something like that, I would assume.
I wonder if there's a wiki that has like all the oaths and all these things. I bet there is.
Probably, but it's probably filled with spoilers that I don't want to see.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're left with they're heading to Falm anyway, but this time with Landfair, so who the fuck knows what's gonna happen with that?
Oh man. What is it gonna
How
be like in the
awkward.
ways?
But how awkward, like you're gonna show up in Falm with the dragon and with a Forsaken.
Or that you're gonna show up in Falm with an Aes Sedai and her warder and the dragon, right? Like,
Who does it look
whoa.
worse for?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like somebody's gonna get played here, obviously.
yeah, that's gonna be some tough shit to get out of.
Meanwhile, our boo's bleeding on the ground, just like broken and
Right,
betrayed.
someone has to find her. I mean, all she did was injure her. She didn't like shield her or
I bet
anything.
Leandrin finds her.
I hope not. I hope Leanne does. I hope Leanne goes looking for her.
I feel like Leanne has a lot. I think she's got a big role to play. I feel like we just keep seeing her casually. Um, but I think that, yeah, if she does find her, I think that, maybe she seizes power or something. But I feel like she's going to be instrumental to whatever happens next. But if Leandrin finds her, it'll allow her to continue to hide the fact that she's a dark friend.
Well, is there anyone who isn't in Falm? Oh, the Children of the Light. They're headed to Falm too
Yeah.
to chase out this Sanchin.
Well, that'll be a shit show.
This is absolutely going to be a shit show because I'm pretty sure they're going to come back.
Yeah, they
I don't
have
think that's
to.
going to be just kind of left off till next season.
Yeah, no, they have to make an appearance. The boy with all the rights has to come back, and I think that he's got to make a choice. And also, like, I want to see Child Balder, encounter a Soldan and her Damane. That thought makes me really happy. Maybe he'll run into Egwene and Rena,
Mm.
and Egwene's gonna be like, "Oh, wait a second, I'm gonna kill you, but him first."
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Oh, you
So
know
the
what?
hmm.
Also, that we didn't talk about that I actually think is really important is the fact that the Amerlin seat, when she meets Rand, or not when she meets, not the Amerlin seat, when Lan is talking to Rand about his role as the dragon. He's like, listen, bro, you got to think bigger than yourself. This has
Hmm.
nothing to do with just protecting your friends. This is the whole world that is at stake, and I don't know why you haven't realized that yet. It's not just
Right.
about your, your three other friends and like
Right.
getting back
It's like
home.
with Nynaeve. It's like, oh my God, shut up and think outside of yourself for a minute.
Yeah.
Like you left to go protect your friends. Well, guess what? You're the dragon reborn. You can't just protect your friends.
Yes, you have to protect everybody.
Like hate it had to be you, bro. But it is what
Yeah,
it is.
exactly. And the fact that you've got like Forsaken like tracking you down, that doesn't make you think that, hey,
This
you
may
know
be
what?
bigger than
Right.
Two Rivers.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that maybe Rand finally comes to grips with that.
I hope so. I hope to see him pull it together. So I do think he's gonna declare himself next week. I think that's how we'll end the season.
Yeah.
Is everyone's gonna
I
converge. He's gonna
am the
declare himself.
dragon reborn.
Someone's
His
gonna have
little
to make him a banner.
his baby Batman voice.
I know everyone like yell whispers, especially Lan.
Especially that.
He loves to yell whisper.
Uh, Maybe you're not supposed to raise your voice in an Aes Sedai. Maybe that's part of the
Maybe
part of the deal.
Lan's just a quiet guy. He's a quiet guy.
Mm.
Well, I think that's the episode. Well, I'm looking forward to the finale. I'm
Me
really excited.
too. It was when I did my rewatch yesterday that I realized that this was the seventh episode and
Yeah, we're
everything
almost
that
done.
means.
I don't know what the next episode is called. I'm not gonna look it up. I'm just gonna wait and see.
Well, if it's in the language that this one was in, it won't even spoil anything.
That's true because I also don't know what Dae'mar means. I'm gonna have to look again. Yeah, I might have to give this one another watch
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
can figure out what the hell that means because I clearly missed it. Well, we have 30 Tuesdays coming up. October 10th, we're covering Twilight Zone, original series, season 1, episode number, I don't know what, but it's called Mirror Image.
It's later in the first season. I watched it last night.
Oh, it was good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's good.
We have some other ones coming up.
The Craft, Beetlejuice, and Nightmare on Elm Street, and Book Club, The Monsters We Defy, October 22nd.
To find previous episodes, go to thousandeyespodcast.com. You can also find us on YouTube, A Thousand Eyes of One Podcast. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter as Thousand Eyes One, Facebook and Instagram, A Thousand Eyes of One. If you're interested in our speculative fiction book club, that is Wine on an Empty Stomach on Instagram. I've been Tanya.
I'm always Nikki.